All right, now we are recording. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us today. Um, we'll get started introducing ourselves. My name is Bethany. I do the marketing and communications here at Broadreach. And our main presenters, kind of our experts today, are Claire Hughes, who is our Caribbean director, and Chelsea Thwaites, who is another program director. And both of them kind of run over some of our marine biology programs. So they'll be talking about those in more depth. A little introduction of Broadreach itself, if you are not familiar with us. We've been around for over 30 years now, running international programs specifically designed for middle and high school students. And we specialize in programs with a focus on marine biology, of course, as well as scuba, sailing, conservation, and veterinary medicine. So all kind of things really centering around the world's oceans and waters. A little bit more about us. So these dots on the map here represent the locations where we're running Broadreach Adventures this summer. And the kind of teal or turquoise dots are the locations where we're running our marine biology adventures. So you can see we've got kind of a variety of locations and a good number of marine biology trips that we're excited to talk about. Oh, another note before I hand things over to Claire. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box. We'll have a Q&A at the end of our presentation, but feel free to drop them in there as you think of them. All right.
Mm. Okay, well, I just wanted to talk a little bit before we get into the nitty-gritty about just marine biology trips on Broadreach and kind of why we study marine biology on a trip like this. I think as well as learning the hard skills of scuba diving and in some cases sailing and other things, studying marine biology specifically with Broadreach just allows us to go a bit more in depth about the subject. And they're designed to be, on the whole, introductory programs so that students can really get started with marine biology. They cover a broad range of topics at that introductory level, and it really gives students the chance to kind of figure out what they might be interested in the future, whether that's going more into sort of oceanography or something like that, or diving into coral reefs, a specific species perhaps of fish or sharks or kind of marine animals. And I think the way that Broadreach does it, where it's kind of an immersive experience, you're living with your marine biologist as well as working with them, allows them to really dive into making marine biology perhaps an area of study in the future, but also maybe even a career in the future and how that might work. As well, alongside the marine biology itself, a lot of the trips, in fact, all of the Broadreach trips will build in the common themes that we cover on Broadreach: leadership training, other activities that complement the marine biology experience. Like I said, scuba diving. We do a lot of community service, usually revolving around marine biology, so it all ties in. And just working with our awesome instructors and having that group of experience, the small group experience with your peers, that really builds that little family, as well as learning a lot of cool stuff about marine biology. Generally, our middle school trips are kind of less academic, although we're still covering the marine biology topics. They are a little more informal, not as rigorously academic. The high school trips offer college credit, and so they will have some more formal lessons, some more formal assessments, but we're still aiming for that experiential experience where a lot of it is hands-on and doing rather than kind of sitting and learning. So I think those things are common to kind of all of our marine biology trips, as well as learning those hard skills, the scuba in particular, which is a great skill to have when you're interested in the marine biology world. Doing that introductory experience really gives them a base to carry on as they get older with the study of marine biology.
Awesome. Yeah, so kind of continuing on with the middle school theme, we have two amazing marine biology programs for middle school students. Um, the first is our Caribbean Intro to Marine Biology, and the second is Bonaire Coral Divers, which this is the actual first year that we're offering this trip in this kind of in this format. So this is a brand new program. Both of these trips are 12-day trips, so a shorter trip, especially good for younger students. And both of them do offer scuba certifications. Now let's kind of get into the nitty-gritty of each of them, starting off with our Intro to Marine Biology trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's definitely a program. It's close to my heart. I love our middle school marine bio trip. They're obviously the big attraction for this is they're living on a yacht. There's nothing better when you're studying marine biology to live actually right above the things you're learning about. And that just allows them to kind of jump in and see the stuff that they've just been talking about in real life. It's great. Along with marine biology and scuba, they're also going to learn sailing. So the students serve as the crew on the boat, and so their instructor and their skipper will get them involved with sailing, teach them how to drive the boats, how to raise the sails, all of that stuff. They can really learn as much as they want to about sailing on a trip like this, as well as obviously learning the marine biology and the scuba as well. We're going to do some other different activities. Water sports is built in there. We're going to go hiking and exploring the islands. But the main focus is like the scuba, learning to scuba dive, and marine biology. They're going to talk about what they've seen on the dives they've been doing. Obviously, we're going to be focused a bit more on the Caribbean life, reef life, the fish and animals that are in the area that we're sailing. And we'll take the opportunity to kind of explore things that we're actually doing. So I think we do usually a session on nocturnal creatures, a session on fish ID so that they can actually talk about the fish they've seen, things like that. And it's presented in a way that's very accessible to middle schoolers. I think if you're coming as a newbie, as a completely fresh diver, you'll learn and do your open water course. And if you are already certified, students will work on their advanced with their instructors. So they'll do either one of those courses and come out with a certification at the end of it, as well as some sailing experience, and obviously some new friends as well.
All right, and now Chelsea, can you tell us a little bit about the Bonaire Coral Divers trip?
Yeah, so this trip is great for students who are maybe not so certain about living on a boat, would prefer to be land-based. So on this program, you stay on a beachfront villa. The beach is right there, so it's very easy for when you start diving in the amazing marine park that is Bonaire. So students on this program will have a focus on corals and sea turtles. We actually offer a coral restoration course. This is a 3-dive course, and this is the only middle school program where we offer this course in particular. So students learn a lot about the corals, how they're growing, how they're replanting them, what they've done already in Bonaire to kind of rebuild their ecosystem. And they'll also do a sea turtle ecology program. This is actually a brand new program offered by Patty in relation with the sea turtle conservation in Bonaire. So students will learn all about the sea turtles in Bonaire and how to help them, anything from like nesting to cleaning up the ocean and removing fishing lines. So students really get to like hone their skills in conservation and explore the beautiful reefs. Some of the highlights of this program in the non-diving perspective are the donkeys. As you can see from the picture, you're surrounded by donkeys. It's a true highlight for a lot of our students. You also get to go land sailing. And then we have community service. We work with locals there, and then we get to go hiking in the national park. So on this program, like our other one, like students are spending a lot of time in the water, honing their skills in diving, and really creating these amazing friendships and bonds with their peers.
Awesome. And this year, this program does require students to have the PADI open water certification, right, Chelsea?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. So those were our two middle school marine biology focused trips. Now let's move on to our high school programs. We've got a bit of a wider variety of trips for high school students, both introductory trips as well as kind of some more advanced trips are focused on more specific topics within marine biology. But our two kind of most popular, most introductory programs are the Caribbean Marine Biology Voyage and the Curacao Marine Biology Adventure. So they're both offering scuba certifications, and they're both open to both certified or non-certified divers. So no previous experience is necessary. And of course, both offer the opportunity to receive college credits. Let's talk a little bit more first about the marine biology voyage, Claire.
Yeah, this is our marine biology trip for high schoolers. Again, you're on a catamaran yacht for the whole 17 days. It's a real liveaboard adventure, sailing around a number of different islands. So getting to experience both the marine life on the different islands, but also seeing the culture and things that differs on these leeward islands. We get to work a lot with the marine parks at the various islands we go to. There are some very well-established marine parks in the Leeward Islands, and we have good relations with them, like long-standing relations that can mean we can go and have a look around some of the labs that they have, check out the research they're doing, talk to the researchers themselves, and also volunteer our services to help with some very, very cool marine-related community service opportunities. So we like that too. I think obviously the big draw is also the sailing experience. So if you have a student who's interested in boats or learning to sail, that's also a bonus of doing a trip like this. As well as we're very flexible on a boat of where we can go and where we can dive. And so the opportunity to go where the good diving is just really cool. Yeah. Living on a boat is a great exercise in teamwork. And so the students tend to bond pretty quick when they're all working together to move the boat or keep the boat clean and tidy. As well as participating in those marine biology lessons as well. They'll do all kinds of things on board. They'll be looking at water quality and kind of doing all of those tests, so learning about the real science behind the oceans and things. They do fish dissection on board. I think there's a picture there of them doing some fish dissection. Lots of very practical activities, and again, that opportunity to kind of just jump in and see what's down there and then talk about it straight away is a real unique aspect of living on a boat doing a trip like this. They will do both their open water and their advanced on this trip. If they come certified, they'll also be able to work on their advanced. So really getting some good diving in, really working on the buoyancy, which is important when we're talking about marine biology. Getting a few, like I say, a few dives in and seeing the different styles of reefs too. The different islands have lots of different reef environments that they can dive on and see the marine life there. Like I say, the college credit is offered, and we encourage all the students to take that option. It's included with the tuition, so they might as well, and they'll be expected to participate in all of the lessons there with their marine biologist. There's 2 college credits offered for this trip.
Awesome. And now Chelsea's going to tell us a little bit about our other kind of introductory program for high schools, the Curacao Marine Biology Adventure.
Yeah, this program runs similar to the one Claire just spoke about. So it is a little bit longer. It's 20 days. But academically, we run a similar program. So we do the same activities. And then we also offer the open water and the advanced course. This program, students are on a land-based program. They'll be staying at Carmabi, which is a well-known research station in the Caribbean. So they'll actively be living with the researchers, which is a really unique program base for this program. Students will also participate in mangrove planting. They'll plant trees. They'll assist with sea turtle conservation projects. They also do coral restoration on this program, and they do get the specialty, so that's offered for a high school program. So students will learn about the coral trees there and do some coral maintenance. They visit a local aquarium and learn about like the Queen Conch hatchery and how they're rebuilding that population there. We also really work with so many outfitters on this program. So we make a lot of research connections as well. We go to Lionfish Caribbean, so the students get to learn about the invasive species of the lionfish, do a very detailed dissection and filleting, and eventually get to eat it and make jewelry with the lionfish wings, which makes a great souvenir to bring back from the program. And our students will be diving around the island. So this is a shore diving trip. So they get to go to different dive sites and see different parts of the island, get to go hiking, um, and jumping into crystal clear waters. They get to go paddleboarding and exploring the beautiful UNESCO heritage town of Williamstad.
So yeah, this is one of our most popular trips, and you can tell that the students always have a great time. We do have a few other high school trips worth mentioning. They're a little bit less introductory. So Chelsea, can you tell us a little bit about some of those? The Fiji program, for example?
Yeah, our Fiji Shark Studies program is a 22-day land-based adventure. Students will be focusing on sharks. You do have to be advanced certified for this program. So doing our Curacao program is a great stepping stone to then come onto this program because you already have the foundation for marine biology and you really get to hone on a specific species or many species of sharks as you'll learn on the program. You'll also go whitewater rafting. You'll do village visits. We offer community service again. In the past, students have painted a local school, which is really a great way to also involve themselves in the community. And you'll be traveling around Fiji as well, going to 3 different locations and studying the sharks and working with the researchers there. This program also offers academic credit. Our Yucatan program, this is in its 2nd year. It's an 18-day land-based program focusing on conservation. So this program is really great for students who are very passionate about conservation and want to see the process on how to make grant proposals. So this is for students who love sea turtles or love protecting the reefs and want to take the charge in preventing lionfish. So it's really for those students who want to be very active in their community and learning the stepping stones to kind of create the policies and putting the action in place. This one, you do need to be scuba certified, so you have to already have the open water course. We offered, and on this program, for the first time ever, we're offering a Broadreach Conservation Diver Distinctive Specialty. This is brand new. And it's an amazing opportunity for students to get this and really hone their skills in diving and really focus on the conservation side. We'll also be traveling around a little bit here. We'll be mostly based in Cozumel, but we'll also visit mainland Yucatan and go to places like Chichen Itza. We'll visit some cenotes, and a true highlight, we'll visit some whale sharks and hopefully get to get in the water and see them.
That sounds really cool.
I know, that's like a once in a lifetime
I know.
opportunity. All right.
Another program close to my heart is our 16-day land-based Azores program. For those who don't know, Azores is off the islands of Portugal. It's been between the US and Portugal. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it is a utopia of cetaceans. So if you want to see whales and dolphins, this is an amazing place. And not only is the ocean a thriving ecosystem, the island itself is absolutely stunning. There's waterfalls, there's hot springs, there's cows and horses roaming in the fields. There is a natural hot spring in the ocean. Students will work with a marine biologist to study the cetaceans and go out on the boats daily and collect data. So this could be collecting sounds or maybe feces, skin cells. It really depends. There's lots of different researchers studying their PhDs there. So the research direction can go any way. So it's an amazing, thriving community to study cetaceans right now. Other activities our group will do here is canyoning, kayaking, and hiking. And they also get to visit 2 islands and learn about how this whaling community turned from a whaling community into a thriving tourist hotspot where now there's such an appreciation for the majestic beasts that are in the water.
Oh.
And then, yeah, we have an honorable mention. This is our Costa Rica Sea Turtles and Marine Conservation. So this program is led by a field biologist. They are like someone who studied conservation. So they'll be leading this program on a very sea turtle focused program. So we'll be going to a few different locations and learning about the sea turtles. You'll work with different researchers. And even though we're going to different places and it's on the same country, the research is very different. So it's a great opportunity for students to see the different types of research that can be done for the same species. We studied two main sea turtles in particular. And last year, our students had an amazing encounter with a hawksbill sea turtle coming to shore to lay some eggs. And so they got to see that, which was a phenomenal experience. This one does not have any scuba diving, so it's great for our land-based students.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a completely dry program, I believe so. But it's still worth a mention since it does have a sea turtle focus. All right, we have a bunch of questions in the Q&A box, so feel free to type one in there if you haven't had time to yet. Also, quick mention, we do have a promo going on now, just through the end of the weekend, through Sunday. End of the day to take $200 off one of our 2025 adventures with the code BYWINTER. You can tell that I'm over the cold weather now and ready for summer. All right, so question asked about being able to participate in Broadreach if they're from Central Asia or another country outside of the US. I'd say from our perspective, yes, we have international students join us, or international students from outside of the United States. It just depends on, you'll have to look at the country you're looking at visiting and seeing what there's specific visa requirements for you to join there. Question, what is our most popular trip and when does it usually get booked up by? Well, it kind of depends on the year, I guess. I think we mentioned some of the popular like introductory trips. Our Fiji shark programs is probably one of the first to fill up. So that I'd say more for Broadreach alumni. But it seems like it kind of skips a year, whether it's Curacao or Caribbean marine bio that fills up first.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the busy time for enrollments. So I don't know if you have anything to add, Claire or Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say which is the most popular. And like you say, Bethany, things fill up different rates, different years. It's hard to predict. I know Fiji has been very popular this year. Last year, I think the Caribbean Marine Biology Voyage was. So I think now is the time to enroll for programs, particularly if the dates are important. If you're not that flexible on dates because you have other stuff going on, really now is the time to get those dates locked in, I would say.
Yes. Question about the crew that we have on board for the 12-day marine bio trip. How many crew are there and what is their background?
That's a good question. We, on a trip like that, will have typically 3 staff. Well, 3 staff, yeah. And it's the same for the high school marine biology trip. There is a skipper who is the captain of the boat and the sailing teacher who will handle all the sailing stuff. There will be a dive instructor who is in charge of dive instruction and supervising dives in the water. And then a marine biologist. The marine biologist is very often a dive professional as well, but they will be there for the marine biology instruction. On the high school trip, they are have at least a master's degree. For the middle school trip, we're a bit more flexible in the qualification, but they definitely will have experience with teaching students and passing on that knowledge, or be working in the marine biology field in some capacity. Yeah, those 3 instructors work as a team for the other aspects. So the other taking care of students and the group dynamics and all of the stuff that comes with managing a group of teenagers. So they very much work as a team in that. And at least one of them on all of our trips will have an advanced certification in first aid. So a wilderness first responder, typically certification that just makes sure that they are more prepared than perhaps your basic CPR to handle medical stuff in the wilderness setting, so a bit more adventurous perhaps than when you're at summer camp or something like that. Yeah.
We have one. What is the distinction between the conservation diver distinctive specialty versus typical scuba certification you offer? Chelsea, can you talk about that?
Yeah. So to be able to work on your specialties as a diver, you need to be open water certified. And your specialties are additional dives that you can do. And they can be anything from like peak performance buoyancy, night diver specialty. So there are additional specialties that you can get so you can work your way towards your master diver. Which is the highest recreational level. And quite a few Broadreach students are working towards that. So this is just a unique specialty that is only going to be offered on Broadreach programs that really hones kind of what Broadreach is about and the kind of divers that we want to bring out into the world.
Awesome.
So I
Here's
guess
one sorry, go ahead.
Broadreach would be the only place you could get that because it's our
Yeah,
distinctive
exactly.
specialty.
Yeah.
Yay.
Unique to us.
Here's one I can answer. When is the deadline for applications? We accept applications pretty much until a trip fills. If there's happens to be a spot open, like we've even had some last minute, people sign up maybe a week before the trip leaves. But if you can get flight down there and everything in time, so there's really just as long as there's a spot open, we can accept applications up until the trip departure time, pretty much.
We'll take a maximum of 12 on most of these trips. I think it's 8 for Bonaire, but 12 is the sort of maximum, and that's when the trip is considered full. So yeah, as long as there's a spot, you can join, but you never know how fast things will fill up. Yeah.
All right. What happens in case of illness on a boat, or I guess in a land-based program as well?
Yeah. Well, there's lots of ways to answer that question, I guess. Like I said, our instructors are experienced in dealing with the kind of things that crop up. Very common complaints are mild seasickness, for instance. On a diving program, it might be something like an ear infection. And so we're used to dealing with those things and knowing where our resources are. So for every place that we visit, whether it be an island or on our land-based programs, the towns that we're going to, we'll have an action plan in place. We'll know where our hospitals are or our clinics where we can go. And also our outfitters and other contacts we have on the island will be available to us. So we plan for various things, but we're able to respond as we need to with various levels of support. Hopefully that answers the question. It's a broad one.
Another one, are students able to communicate with family while on the boat? So we are a phone-free experience. We encourage students to travel with the phone, for a travel day. We have them call home or contact home when they arrive, and then once per week. We also have daily trip updates, so little blog posts, and we have a shared Google photo album with our families where we'll every day update photos. There might be some days when Wi-Fi is limited, so we might have to upload them all the following day or so. But also we have a 24-hour on-call person throughout the summer as long as there's trips in the field. So you can, if you need to contact your student, you can contact Broadreach HQ and we can arrange a time to get in touch with them. So a question about the staff, if they're a mix of male and female.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We typically go for a mix, at least one male and one female staff member on the boat. That is good for everybody. Very occasionally, there might be an all-female crew. We would never put an all-male crew on a boat, but yes, the vast majority of our co-lead pairings are a mix of male and female instructors. Yeah.
A question about a student who their student will be joining us this summer. Yay! He's 11 and just wondering if they need any document other than just their passport.
It really depends on the country that they're traveling to, so it depends which trip. We do have a minor international travel form as part of our paperwork that we would advise people to fill in and sign and have their student carry with them. Very occasionally at the border it will be asked for. There are some countries that require it to be notarized, and we will be in contact about that usually before the trip in good time so that that can be taken care of. But yeah, I would advise the minor international travel form be filled out and carried with students. Yeah.
All right. And we've got 2 questions about traveling. Specifically, do they have to travel with a parent or guardian? Is someone going to be meeting them when they arrive? How does that work?
Chelsea, you want to answer that?
Yeah. Yeah. So for a lot of our program, students do travel independently. For our Fiji and Azores program, we actually have the students travel on like a group flight. So the students need to get to LA for Fiji or New York for the Azores, and all the students are on that flight together. Our staff are already in country, both in St. Martin or anywhere else that our programs go internationally. So our students, once they arrive, our staff is there. They're wearing Broadreach t-shirts. They have a sign. They have a list of who they're expecting to see. So they're ready there to greet you. And then once the students arrive, we have them call home, let them know that they're safe. And then our staff is in consistent communication with us in HQ. So they're letting us know when they have the students. And then also as parents, it's like a student's delayed, you can always call us and let us know, and we can always let our team know. So there's a consistent role of communication going there.
All right. And final question we have, do we hang on to students like travel documents and medical supplies, or do they hang on to them themselves?
Oh yeah. Yes, we will collect passports and other important travel documents at the start of the trip. Certainly for the boat-based programs, the skipper will actually need to show those passports at immigration at the various islands we go to. So that's another reason to do that. And what was the other part of the question?
Medical supplies.
Medical supplies. Yes, some of the controlled substances that students take will be hung on to by the instructors. We let students keep some of the over-the-counter medications and non-prescription medications if they want to. But yes, we will hang on to medications for students, particularly the younger ones if they want us to. Yeah.
Right, that's all of our questions. I do want to just
wow.
give a brief plug for the Broadreach Foundation because we had a couple questions that I answered in the chat about scholarships. The deadline is coming up January 31st. So if you're interested, please head to broadreachfoundation.org and make sure you get your application started.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. If you think of any other questions, please do reach out by email. You can email brhq@gobroadreach.com or one of us. We have C. Hughes for Claire at gobroadreach.com or C. Thwaites at gobroadreach.com for Chelsea. Or give us a call at 919-256-8200. And we hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.